Welcome back to Hopeful Horizon, where we bring you gripping stories filled with twists that challenge the mind and warm the heart. Today's story is about a young black girl's encounter with injustice, one that could have ended in tragedy if not for an unbelievable twist that turns the situation on its head. A day at the park takes a dark turn when a police officer orders his K-9 to attack the girl, but there's one thing he doesn't know. Her father is a police captain, and he's just minutes away. What follows will leave you speechless as hidden truths come to light, loyalties are tested, and justice takes an unexpected turn. If you enjoy stories filled with high-stakes moments and powerful twists, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, and tap the bell so you never miss another thrilling tale from Hopeful Horizon. Now, let's dive into today's story, one that will keep you at the edge of your seat. The crisp air was filled with laughter as Amaya Daniels sprinted across the sprawling lawn of Crestwood Park. Her white sneakers kicked up bits of grass as she darted between two oak trees, her lungs burning but her heart light. "Can't catch me, Jay," she called over her shoulder to her best friend, a lanky boy with long legs who tried, unsuccessfully, to match her speed. Nearby, children shrieked as they slid down colorful playground equipment, while families sat under canopies, sharing snacks and cold lemonade. The park felt alive, buzzing with the joy of a Saturday afternoon. For Amaya, it was a rare escape from the expectations that came with being the daughter of a police captain. Here, she could just be a kid. No lectures about safety, no talk of responsibility, just her and her friends, free to be themselves. At the far end of the park, Officer Rick Marshall leaned against his patrol car, arms crossed over his chest. He wore mirrored sunglasses that reflected the bright blue sky, and his K-9, a German shepherd named Rex, sat obediently by his side. Marshall's gaze swept over the park, watching parents with strollers and teenagers riding bikes. His attention stopped on Amaya and her friends. A scowl tugged at the corners of his mouth. 3 black kids running across the lawn? Something didn't sit right with him. He grabbed the radio on his shoulder, speaking into it. "Unit 12 reporting. I've got some suspicious individuals. Looks like they're casing the park," he said, as if children running and playing were a cause for alarm. His K-9 twitched its ears, sensing the tension in its handler. Marshall gave a tug on the leash, his eyes fixed on Amaya. "Come on, Rex. Let's check it out." Amaya skidded to a halt near the park fountain, laughing as she caught her breath. "Told you I'm faster than you," she teased Jay, who doubled over, gasping dramatically. Before they could continue their playful banter, a sharp voice cut through the air. "Hey, you kids!" Amaya turned, startled. A tall, stern-looking officer in a dark uniform was marching toward them, his K-9 at his side, teeth bared. The dog's low growl sent a chill down her spine. Her friends froze, unsure of what to do. "Hands where I can see them," Officer Marshall ordered, his voice harsh. Amaya blinked, confused but compliant. "What's going on, sir?" "You running from something?" Marshall asked, his tone accusatory. "Looks to me like you've got something to hide." Amaya's heart pounded. "We're just playing tag," she said quietly. "Yeah, right," Marshall muttered, narrowing his eyes. "Don't lie to me, girl. Do you have ID?" I'm 12. I don't carry ID," Amaya stammered, her voice trembling now. The dog's growl grew louder as Marshall's patience wore thin. "Figures. You're all the same," he muttered. Jay stepped forward, trying to intervene. "We didn't do anything wrong, man. We were just, Marshall cut him off. "Back off, kid. Don't make this worse." Amaya could feel the dog's hot breath as it pulled against the leash. "We're not doing anything," she protested, her voice cracking. Marshall sneered. "We'll see about that." Then he gave the command Amaya would never forget. "Rex, get her." The dog lunged. Amaya's scream pierced the air as Rex bounded toward her, snarling and snapping. Just as the dog's teeth were inches from Amaya's leg, a voice thundered across the park. "Stand down!" The command was so powerful that even Rex hesitated, skidding to a stop mid-lunge. A man sprinted across the park, his black jacket billowing behind him, eyes locked on the officer and his dog. It was Captain Amaya Daniels, Amaya's father. "Amaya!" Elijah shouted, panic flooding his voice as he closed the distance. He threw himself between his daughter and the dog, his heart racing. "What the hell is going on here?" Elijah demanded, glaring at Officer Marshall. Marshall faltered, shocked to see the man standing before him. "I didn't know." "You didn't know?" Elijah hissed, his voice low and dangerous. "You just ordered your dog to attack my daughter." A small crowd had gathered by now, parents clutching their children and whispering to each other. Several off-duty officers, friends of Elijah, stood nearby, watching the scene unfold with grim expressions. Elijah pulled his badge from his jacket and shoved it toward Marshall's face. "I'm Captain Amaya Daniels. You just assaulted my daughter." Marshall's face drained of color. I didn't mean to," Elijah cut him off. "Save it." The off-duty officers stepped forward, one of them placing a hand on Marshall's shoulder. "You're done, Rick," he said. Marshall glanced around, realizing the crowd was recording everything with their phones. There was no escaping what he had done. Elijah tapped his radio. "Dispatch, this is Captain Daniels. I need an internal affairs team at Crestwood Park immediately. We've got a situation." As the investigation unfolded, Elijah uncovered more than he had anticipated. Marshall's misconduct wasn't an isolated incident. He had a long history of complaints against him, most of which had been conveniently buried. Several officers within the department had been protecting him, turning a blind eye to his actions to avoid public scandal. Elijah was furious. "This stops now," he told his team. "We're going to clean house, starting with Marshall." Meanwhile, Amaya struggled with the emotional aftermath of the incident. Her father tried to comfort her, but the experience had shaken her deeply. "You'll be okay, sweetheart," Elijah promised, holding her close. "I won't let this happen again. Not to you, and not to anyone else." The public outcry was swift and intense. Videos of the incident went viral, sparking protests and demands for accountability. Elijah held a press conference, standing in front of the precinct with Amaya by his side. "We will not tolerate abuse of power," he declared. "Officer Marshall has been removed from duty, and an internal investigation is underway. We will rebuild trust in this community no matter what it takes." Marshall was arrested and charged with assault and misconduct, and several high-ranking officers who had covered for him were fired. Amaya, though still healing, found strength in speaking out about her experience. She became a voice for change, inspiring others to stand up against injustice. Months later, a mural of Amaya was painted on the wall near the park's playground, depicting her as a symbol of resilience. Elijah stood beside his daughter, pride swelling in his chest. "You're going to change the world, kid," he said, wrapping an arm around her. Amaya smiled. "With you by my side, I just might." Thank you for joining us on this powerful journey of courage, justice, and change. Amaya's story reminds us that standing up for what's right can spark a movement, even when the odds seem stacked against us. If this story inspired you, leave a comment and share your thoughts. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss another impactful story. Until next time, stay hopeful, stay strong, and always fight for what's right.